问一下 Jonathan， 你花多少时间做怎么样的 research？ 到底什么东西可以让你决定把书写成这样子的？
OK， 我用英语回答，因为我的华语不太好。So, okay, I think let me first address the big question you all have is like, what's my relationship with Captain Ho? Because I know many people ask, are you his grandson or something like that? And as some folks just said, right, there's a lot of 巧合 in life. My involvement in the project started when one day World Scientific just they gave me a call. They say, hey Jonathan, we love this book that you edited. Do you want to edit this memoir? Then I was like, okay. So it's just like that, yeah. Even more 巧合. He used to be my student a few years ago when I was working on Captain Ho's book. Right? Isn't it crazy? So anyway, it took 9 months, 9 个月, yeah, 9 months to write this whole book. Why? Because the original manuscript that Captain Ho and his son Fred put together was actually very factual. It just says, A happened, B happened, C happened, D happened. But when I met Captain Ho for the first time, right, and then I heard his stories, right, wow, very, very engaging. So much emotion, so much detail. And then I look at the manuscript and I was like, this is not inside the manuscript at all. Yeah. So I told the publisher, I said, you know what, we need to rewrite the whole thing. So 9 months, every 2 to 3 weeks, I will visit him. And I spent almost the whole day. Fred remembers that actually I sent him, as I gave Captain Ho homework. Before every meeting, I'll send him 60 to 100 questions. Yeah, and then Captain Ho will look at me and say, Jonathan, why you give me so much homework? But the reason for doing this, right, was because I wanted to capture his emotion, his reaction to all these historical events. Because I was very inspired by the National Archives. There's this thing about the oral history project, right? About subjective history, right? That where, like, sure, we know that there's all these objective events in history, right? But history only comes alive when we start to hear people's personal accounts, personal stories, that we know how they think, how they went through the kinds of suffering, the hardship, the anxieties and everything, right? I wanted to capture all of this, all his feelings, all his hopes, all his dreams, all his disappointments, all the missed opportunities and regrets. I wanted it all to be recorded. Yeah. So on the screen you have all these books. Many of them are his diaries. One of them is actually a war diary that he actually wrote while fighting against the Japanese in World War II. Yeah. Now what's the funny thing? I only got to see all these books when I'm almost done writing the book. But so a lot of the research, right, is just relying partly on the information that Captain Ho gives me, but his memory of the war is so good, right? So he tells me all this. I'm a researcher. I do the research and I find, oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, sometimes maybe the chronology plus or minus a few days, so I will correct that, right? But his memory is so good. I was able to verify the historical events. Yes, it all tallies. Yeah. But of course, the diaries they just record very factually again, right? So a lot of the value was interviewing him. How did you feel? Even the photos of all his former girlfriends, right? I only saw them at when I was almost done writing the book. Can you believe it? But the details that Captain Ho shared with me, of course I asked him, I said, like one of the girlfriends, what was her hairstyle like? And then the Captain Ho looked at me. Why do you ask this question? It's not relevant to my story. But because history remembered all this, and I was able to capture all this, right? Because I wanted to write in his voice as much as possible, yeah? Recreate it so that when you read it, you feel as if you are looking at his life through his eyes. Reliving history. Let the history come alive as you're reading page by page. That was the main intention. So every trip I will be focusing on like just 1 or 2 chapters, right? Every interview, 1 or 2 chapters. I get all the information, I go home, and then I spend 2 or 3 days just writing out the chapters. My greatest, I felt very heartened at the end of it all because towards the end of the 9 months, right? Fred took out this collection of love letters that Captain Ho wrote for his wife. Yeah? Oh, he's such a romantic person. Every time he thinks of his wife, he takes up some paper, even if he's on the plane, he'll take up a piece of paper and start writing, oh, I miss you, or whatever, right? Very personal thoughts. Now, one of the greatest worries I had when I was working on this project was that maybe my voice, the way I try to portray Captain Hope may not be accurate. And sometimes people say, hey, are you sure you want to do this method? Because what if it's not his own expression? So I was very worried about it, right? But because of the meticulous interview and because Captain Hope was very expressive, right? I was able to, I just imagine if I'm Captain Hope, how would I say it? And then finally, when I saw those love letters, his personal, most private expressions, right, most intimate expressions, wow! I compared it with the writing, very similar. Very similar. And then that was when I was very assured, yes, okay, I have succeeded in recreating Captain Ho. So when you read this book, you are going to experience Captain Ho as he lived through those years of his life. Yeah.
建宏是我们新一代的这个新闻从业员哦，你今天有什么问题要问你的老师吗？
我的老师，其实我是有一个问题的，就是可能现在年轻一点，就是很年轻的这些观众吧，可能学生群体，他们的注意力非常有限，可能因为现在这种快餐文化，可能他们看一个视频觉得3分钟是很长的，看一本书可能觉得我只要看那种漫画、那种卡通就可以了，我不想看有很多字的东西。那么，但是其实大家有的时候他们也会对历史觉得跟我无关啊，都几十年前发生的事情，为什么我要去了解这个故事呢？可是和胡佛的故事真的是非常的精彩，而且我们也要把它漫画化，也可以是卡通。所以你觉得说我们怎么样去跟这些更年轻的观众去推荐何伯的故事，让他们感兴趣、爱上这个故事
？So I tell you one thing I notice about the young people these days, because every semester I teach about 600, 700 students. Yeah, so I've taught for 6 years already. There's a few thousand already. Yeah. So here's the problem that I'm witnessing now, right? Because of all these technological disruptions, right? A lot of parents, they think their experiences, their life experiences are not relevant to their children. So they're not sharing their life stories with their children. And a lot of children, young people, they think that their parents or any older person, their life experiences are not relevant because of all these technological disruptions. I used to think like this, right? But then, as I work with Captain Ho on this book, I start to realize, you know what? All his stories about all the failures, the way in which life doesn't go as planned, how he worked with difficult people, difficult situations, all these are very valuable lessons. And so, whether or not we have technological disruptions, the human experience is still the same. And what young people need to hear more and more are stories like the stories of Captain Ho, and maybe your stories too. Yeah? Because right now, I ask a lot of my students, right, I say, what do your parents tell you? They say, oh, my parents only tell me, study hard, get good grades, and then you'll be happy and successful. Yeah? I even had one student ask me, can you teach me how to plan my finances? I say, ask your parents. Then the girl say, I asked my dad don't want to teach me. So this is happening. A lot of parents don't want to share their stories. A lot of older people want to share their stories. But the young people need these stories. Because when we start, because without all these stories, right, young people think the moment I fail, that's it. My life is over. This is the thinking nowadays. And so now they are so afraid. My time when we were students, right, we just say stress, school very stress. Now they don't say they stress. Now the young people are saying, I'm afraid, I'm worried, I'm anxious. Right? So we need to hear more stories of like Captain Ho, how life can throw us a curveball, yeah? Doesn't go as the way we plan, and yet what's the important value for Captain Ho? Perseverance. In Cantonese it's called ngai, right? To be able to persevere and endure, and at the end of the day, things can still work out well. So we need to learn lessons like that. Yeah? So the book has many lessons, and in fact, it has helped me to become a better lecturer. I would have been a very different lecturer if not for the lessons that I learned from Captain Ho, how he taught his students, how he helped them to feel less anxious when they have to undergo a lot of difficult situations. So yeah, there's so much to learn, and at the same time, yeah, the young people need to hear more stories.
谢谢 Jonathan 的分享啊。